live my life a quarter mile at a time. Nothing else matters. Let's go for a little ride.
We've got time for love if we make it. Nothing can stop us or break it. Passion soars on wings like eagles, seen from above. If all that we have left is time, I think it's time for love.
Hello and welcome to Two Chunks and a Hunk. My name is Jordan Wonders, and this week I am 1/3 of your collective hunk.
I'm Doge, and no matter how fast you are, no one outruns their hunk. And mine just caught up to me.
Nice.
And I'm Carter, and
I showed you honky. I love it when Vin Diesel yells. That's 2 Fast and Furiouses in a row that he's done that, because the last one was Alone, right?
I think so.
mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
I think so.
What a special boy.
that wasn't in Fate of the Furious. That one was in the.
Was that F7?
That was the nuclear sub one.
I thought that
Which one was that?
That's before. No, that's before Baby Mama dies. That's not Aiden.
Okay.
Doge and I was Doge's ride back from the movie theater, and we had to rack our brains to remember who the mother of the child was. Hey, but real quick.
Thor's wife.
Thor's wife.
Hold on. We're all the hunk because we went to a movie theater. We're fully vaccinated, and we sat in a movie theater, and ding dang it, we watched a movie.
That was wild. That's the second time that the 4 of us have all been together since the last time we recorded in person.
Since
Isn't that crazy?
our Coco episode, we have been in the same room together twice.
2 times.
Once at a bank to become an LLC, and once for this movie.
And once to watch Fast and Furious 9.
And it felt right, guys. It felt right.
Yeah.
It really did.
It was a really, really good time.
Now, we are talking about a movie today. This is the secret surprise entry in our Summer of Love series because we love it.
We're in love with it.
We are
I
in
think
love.
it's more than just we
It's
love
a
it.
romantic
we're actually
relationship.
legitimately in love with this franchise.
And of course, the movie we're talking about, we didn't discuss what title we're going with here.
I don't think we should.
Just go.
And the movie we're talking about is
F9.
The Fast
nice.
Saga.
The Fast Saga. Yeah, it does have a colon after it. Hey, this is the lowest rated Fast and Furious movie of all of them.
Even the pre-reboot
This is the
ones.
lowest rated Fast and Furious movie.
Via what?
IMDb's rating system only.
Oh, yeah. It's like a 61% on Flickster for critics, which is not, I mean, we've definitely had some higher than that. And the audience is in the 80 percentile, which we've had several higher than that.
Yeah,
We won't jump straight into it, but we got ideas as to why.
We do. Yeah, this is, the more time I've had to reflect on this. Listen, here's the deal. Let's just start talking about it. Here's the thing. We know how I feel about Tokyo Drift. I think it's a bad movie.
Oh, so bad. Unbelievably.
There is a certain charm to how bad Tokyo Drift is that still makes it a fun watch.
Right.
As I reflect on F9,
Yeah, that's what we'll call it. F9.
I have a worse opinion of the movie the longer I sit on it.
Yep.
And the biggest thing, and I've officially decided the worst thing, not my super dumb, but the worst thing about this movie, there's no Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in this one.
Yes. And I promise this isn't just fan service, because I think there's some chunkies that are my students, former and current students at the college I teach at. And I often, because I teach communications, it has become kind of a running bit. But hey, by the way, Dwayne Johnson is one of the most charismatic people that's ever existed on this planet. And so
Yes.
I 100% agree to this, and I'm trying to not look at it through my rock-colored lenses. But we need him back.
It's not just Dwayne. It is mostly Dwayne, but the real issue, I think, lies in the fact that this movie is a charisma black hole.
100%.
Completely.
But the worst thing about it is It's like, dude, it's there though. You're just not using it. It's been there the whole time.
Correct.
Yeah.
What a waste.
Like we have Tyrese and Ludacris who are trying their best, dang it,
but they can't do it.
They can't do it alone. They've got the banter. They're very funny. I think they're both great.
Straight up, did they ever interact with Vin Diesel and Michelle Rodriguez in this movie, or were they only hanging out with Nathalie Emmanuel?
No, they interacted.
No, they interacted.
They like spoke to each other, but like all the scenes, I'm saying like we like divide like Mystery Inc. gang style.
That is
like
true.
Scoopy and Shaggy are over here, and everybody else is over here,
But
and they talk to each other.
They
don't
interacted
really have
in
a lot of
person a
scenes.
couple times.
Yeah, the
Right,
farm.
right.
When we first see the two of them, they're all four together.
Sure, I'm just saying it felt like that our team was separated out.
It did.
Sure,
It
the
did.
Mystery Inc. gang drives to the mystery together, then they split up when they get in the haunted house.
Yeah.
When
it's
Sean-
a heist. It's a heist vibe.
Yeah.
It's like
But
Oceans.
and yet though it isn't though is the thing.
I'm
Like
saying in terms of people not being together. I don't
Yeah,
want to
but
give it
it's
too much credit.
it's like a heist movie without a heist that actually happens is what it feels like. But
I haven't even given us a synopsis yet, guys. You guys are just
Oh,
blasting,
dang it.
just driving straight ahead. You're not living a quarter mile at a time. Do we want a synopsis?
Yeah. Yeah.
This is why we can't do it.
Sorry,
This is
I've
why-
been dying
this is why-
to
I
talk
know.
about this movie.
We saw it together a few days ago, and I've been like trying to not text you guys or message in Slack about this, and I've almost exploded.
Yeah, we basically left the theater and said about 3 sentences about it and then locked it down so we could save all conversation for this moment.
Yep.
So
Yep. I feel like a Diet Coke. Somebody put some Mentos in and was like, "Nah, you just hang out. I'll be back soon." The synopsis for F9: The Fast Saga. What a stupid name.
yeah, I don't get that.
The synopsis has no author. Sprung fully formed from the head of Zeus like Athena, except if Athena was stupid and had no wisdom to give the ancients.
Oh.
Cypher enlists the help of Jacob, which is with a K. We didn't know that. Cypher enlists the help of Jacob, Dom's younger brother, to take revenge on Dom and his team.
That's it, dude. That's all you
it.
need to know.
Wow. That
That's
is
it.
pretty much it.
That's pretty much it.
Okay, back to the
Can I-
conversation.
Yeah. Can I bring up a combo really quick that Doge and I had? I had a conversation with Doge because we were walking in my car.
You guys talking without me?
Mm-hmm. And
When I walked Carter to his car to drop him off when you were
Give him a
circling waiting
kiss.
to pick me up,
Give him a
gotta
kiss
him
before I could
goodnight,
pick
drop
you
him
up.
off at his car.
Yes. And so as we were walking over, I was talking to Doge, Jordan, about how because of how we have experienced this saga together, now that it's called a saga and it gets to
Right.
do whatever it wants.
Sure.
10 movies in now, if you count Hobbs and Shaw, it does feel like, both from a critical lens and from just being fans of the franchise, there could be an assumption that how we feel about this movie is how collective audience feels. And
Sure.
Doge and I had a conversation before I had even seen what reviews were, IMDb or Flickster. And I was like,
Yeah.
I bet other people aren't going to like this either. And it's weird to feel that way.
Yeah.
And it's also weird to know, like, you know what? They've got about 20 more movies to figure it out. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not
so
stopping.
strange. It's so weird.
Hey, when they went to Tokyo, was I the only person disappointed out of our group? Was I the only one disappointed that they didn't play the Tokyo Drift song?
Yes.
Like it felt like that absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't do that.
That's in a nutshell my super dump. Okay. So here's the thing. A year and a half ago, also, the pandemic did not help this super
Sure.
dump by any means.
No. It actually didn't help most things.
Han in the Fast Saga
Yep.
is, to me, what Boba Fett is to the Star Wars saga.
Yeah, totally.
It's this-
totally.
This is great.
Incredibly cool persona that showed up and people said, wait, why is it gone? And why is he dead?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Why? And it is 100% the fans that brought this person back that said, let's just start working for the TVA and find out how the heck we can even make it even plausible to
Yeah.
get them back into this universe. And we got him here and we were told he would be here. So I've been sitting on this for a year and a half and we
Yep.
get back to him and we blew it.
There's
Yeah.
nothing. Yeah.
Han is back and there is nothing. Everything that made him impressive and it's weird to say things are impressive Jordan, but I'm with you. And actually, Doge was a pretty big fan of Tokyo Drift.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it had to do with Han. But some of the stuff
Han
that
is
made
the best
him
part unequivocally.
Well, Han, I think, is he gets to be this unique character that has this charisma. It's like he's not the A-lister that we got to be on the track just because they're an A-lister and they have a history of charisma.
Right.
Han just kind of grew into it in the saga, and we don't get that hardly with anyone else. And so we get him back, and sure, he shoots 5 people. He's a great shot. Yeah, we remember he's okay with a gun. Why aren't we talking? We get a backstory, and they do an okay job in a world that is incredibly unbelievable and the most unbelievable it's ever been, believe it or not.
Yep.
We get a pretty good backstory that I was kind of like, you know what? That's kind of cool. I get it. Mr. Nobody's involved and he can make people disappear, right?
Sure.
All that kind of stuff happens.
I was
okay
actually
with that.
down with that. That was
We
fine.
spent all of our energy setting that up only to have no payoff. And yes, it feels like they're going to have another chance, just like I said. I feel like Han is going to be in every other Fast movie that ever exists. Lord knows, I don't think we can kill people twice. I don't know. Maybe we'll kill him again.
Do you think they're going to bring Gal Gadot back?
I don't think that. I don't think they're going to bring Gal back.
She's going to stay dead.
I think she's actually.
I think probably.
Yeah.
But I think we wasted it. I was so disappointed that we didn't get more of Han.
Yeah,
And I think. Yeah.
Ugh. Sorry, I don't want to cut you off. But
Well,
I've
our
got
energy
I've
was
got a
put into
bad
the
vibe about it.
Yeah, our energy was put into the wrong place here. And some of the decisions that they made, and again, it's tough because this is a formula that's always changing. It's like the Fast Saga is the Frieza, or like it's like the Dragon Ball Z villain that you're like, okay, well, I guess that doesn't work to kill them anymore, but that's kind of cool. Now there's a new version of the same thing and it's more powerful and whatever. But yeah, I think I have a fear that this felt like the first time it's trying too hard.
Dude,
does that make sense?
It really
Completely.
did. No, I completely agree. Every other time I've seen this, it felt like, I don't know, it felt like it weirdly knew itself. Like it had like this sense of awareness about what it's supposed to be. And this time, this movie really feels like it was like an unearned reinvention or something. I don't know. I don't know what it was.
And I
Just
think I know it's a similar sentiment for all of us, but Jordan, you've brought this up too, almost from the jump, that I think it feels like we're compensating. I think they knew that there's no Dwayne The Rock Johnson in this movie.
So they had to bring back Han and Sean and I guess
when Sean has some of the most charisma in your movie, you done messed up.
So
He's got Gomer Pyle charisma though. I don't.
That's my super dump though, is the returning characters who are supposed to be like, oh, I'm so glad they're back. They're nothing. And we just bring them in because we want to. There's not a real reason to. Like, I actually think the way they explain Han's death is the worst possible explanation of like, oh, he looked like he died. That's because it was a trick. He actually didn't. That sucks.
Yeah.
That's nothing.
Yeah.
Why don't we use any, the beef between, we can't go forever and not address the feud between our two favorite boys, Vin Diesel and Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Vin is mad that The Rock did Hobbs and Shaw.
Are we sure that's really what it is? Is that really what it is?
I think it is. That's what I've been led to believe. That's kind of the general story around it. But because of that, I think we're unwilling to acknowledge things that are happening in Hobbs and Shaw. So why didn't we use Idris Elba's Black Superman powers to bring Han back, right? Like some sort of the biotech developments that we've seen happen there. That's a great way to bring Han back. But we're too angry. And so it just, oh, you only thought he died, LOL. Now when we catch up with Sean and apparently Big Bow Wow, Sean is for some reason working with rockets, which is not a thing Sean's ever been really down with. But we need somebody to know rockets, and so we have this named character that we haven't brought back yet, so it's perfect. We'll just slot him in right there, and it makes no sense. And it I know they drive a car to space, so I know I can't say it makes no sense, and that's why I don't like it. But it just is so unearned and lazy the way we bring back these characters.
The thing with Sean working on rockets is emblematic of something else that was really fighting for my super pump. Still not it.
Super pump?
Sorry, super dump. Let me back up. Still not it. And it is that, honestly, we should have found Sean back in Tokyo racing on the streets again. And we should have had a scene with a bunch of neon lights, tiny neon bright cars, and a fat Danny Brown style beat drop with a slow motion drift around a corner. We don't race in these movies anymore. And I miss it. I miss it so bad. And the race on the track and all the flashbacks does not count. Yeah. Because that's not a street race, which is what these movies are. I never thought I would miss racing in a movie, but I miss
that's
high intensity races.
That's because it appears that in universe there was some sort of seismic shift industry wide where every street racer became interested in spy stuff at the same time. And that's the weird thing,
which I'm
right?
fine with.
I'm not fine with that being street. What we should have found Sean racing on the street, and
that's correct.
Han shows up at the end, and Sean's like, "I thought you were dead," and Han's like, "No, we need you to be part of our spy team."
Right.
We've got some, and this brings.
I'm with you on that 100%.
Fun idea that I think could be fun for us or those chunkies to help us create this. I think there's some 2 chunks vernacular that we use, and I tend to drop it thinking that people know the vernacular. Right. When I speak of Magoory, Mr. Magoo was an old cartoon that we used Magoory maybe for the first time during The Hobbit when we were watching that.
Right.
And we created this word for just stumbling upon going ahead and getting through something like the narrative.
I think the best example is when Jar Jar gets his foot stuck in the wires of a droid and just
that's
like
Magoory
trips all over the place and accidentally kills the whole droid army around him.
F9, the Fast Saga,
F9
had some like reverse it Magoory. Like it was like this things that they were stumbling upon. They were going the wrong way. It was like they were going towards a bad end because we get so close. We were adjacent to and so near and ignorant of what the little things that could have made this better. And we talk about like
defeat from the jaws of victory in this.
Yes, I think one of the worst things too about bringing everybody back was like, we heard about the Friends reunion. People wanted the Friends reunion for like decades, and then we finally get it. And what if Jennifer Aniston's not there though? So we've done the Friends reunion, and it's everybody but Aniston. Why are you even watching it?
Right.
Like the more people you bring back, and you still don't. And I'm a broken record, and you still don't bring back Hobbs. Why are you even doing it?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, to me, this movie, if it is supposed to be a reuniting of all things Fast and Furious, even without Hobbs there, which he should have been there, Shaw should have at least been there.
More than the post-credits.
More than the post-credit scene. Like Statham's at least got some charisma. Like this charisma black hole is so evident. John Cena's got charisma for days, and yet this whole movie he's basically told to be a Dom clone. So he doesn't get to have
my super dump.
The charisma.
Cena was not.
Han is full of charisma. Doesn't get to use any of it. Like we just take, because we focus so much on Dom, who at this point, Dom is the least interesting character.
But he's bankrolling this stuff, right? Yeah. His Vin's production company, One Race, is making these. They're his movies.
Yeah. And I think Dom should be there as like the team mascot that when stuff happens to everybody's like, we got to do this for Dom.
So Dom is Scooby then.
Dom is Scooby 100%.
But he's not a human. Yeah.
100% Dom is Scooby.
Yeah.
And it just feels like because we're zeroing in on Dom more than anything.
Yeah.
We're losing out on so much charisma and fun screen chemistry.
And the ensemble around him's not particularly great, though. Like this is one of the one things we let ourselves talk about when we were walking out of the movie. This is the most insulated cast that a Fast and Furious has ever had.
Yeah.
I think aside from the first one, whenever it was just nobodies. But like since it got big, this is the most insulated cast because they don't have a single person in this who really does other things that much. You know what I mean? Like Ludacris is not doing anything. I mean, maybe he's practicing his rap from Baby, but he's doing nothing other than Fast and Furious movies at this point, right?
I bet he's got new music.
I think Helen Mirren was like the only one.
Right.
And touches of Kurt Russell. It's like...
Yes. But our main ensemble, like we don't have a Statham or a Rock who are like, you guys are actors, you're not Fast and Furious actors. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying these folks are not hardworking, good actors, but they only do these, and we just don't have that like... the energy, I guess, from somebody who does other stuff too.
Well, it's so weird too. It felt like this felt beneath for the first time. It felt like the first time I saw Cypher, I should have felt like it was beneath Charlize Theron to be in this. Yeah. But it especially felt like that in this. because I just kept seeing Furiosa, and I kept seeing all these other wonderful things that she's done, like Atomic Blonde, even within the last decade. That I'm like, okay, you're the one who's clearly had a career,
dude. This
and
is
still has a chance for a career outside.
This is the easiest paycheck she's ever made. She could have shot all her scenes in like 2 days. One day.
She never was even around people.
She did nothing. Weird. She was by herself the whole time. She did the entire movie thing.
Take the bag. Congrats.
Yeah, for real. Head to the mailbox, cash that F9 check. The F9 check.
No, I want to say, I'd like to say my super dump.
I think I know what it is.
Yeah, finally, interrupt all this positivity. Bring us back down.
Well, I'm saving my super pump for the back half because I'd like
back half is going to be a wild ride.
I'd like to ramp back up.
Yeah.
But I am going to super dump now. And my super dump is the middle 45 minutes of this movie.
Yeah.
Are just the most nothing. Oof. Hold on. I'm getting there, Carter. Relax. the most nothing I've ever watched on a screen, particularly and specifically everything in London is so pointless and stupid. All we do is get the magnet, which we could have found another way to get. It is so boring. That middle 45 was so boring that I zoned out, which I never do in movies. But what brought me back and what Carter is laughing at right now is at one point in London, John Cena zip lines across the city for about 12 straight minutes.
So long.
And I mean, they just keep showing the same shot, basically, of Dom looking up at a building while he's running to see if Jacob is still there.
John Cena just tiny, like,
yep, just through all these buildings.
Oh my!
One of the best things, and here's even the zip line though. The zip line is as awful as it was, a glimpse into what actually makes me love.
Yes,
the Fast series, because there's a chance, no matter how much you end up liking it or how it relates to the Fast universe, the ever-changing Fast universe, there's going to be at least guaranteed 2 or 3 moments you'll never forget.
Yeah,
right.
Movie experiences
Completely.
You will never forget. And sometimes it's intentional and sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you, Jacob on the zip line for 10 minutes. And I might not be exaggerating. Jacob on the zip line across all of London. I'm never going to forget that.
No, I won't ever forget that.
The third time it happened, which I don't even think was the last time, the third time we cut
it was
to
about 8 or 9 times.
It was like this. We were all holding it in. And then it happened. And I feel like collectively, all 4 of us were just like,
dude, it was like the whole theater. I loved
the theater had great energy.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. That was interesting.
The vibe of our theater, I feel like, so when we went to see Hobbs and Shaw,
the vibe was not good.
The vibe was not our vibe. Everybody was like
weird.
Real, like, I'm here to watch the action.
How much better does that movie feel?
Oh yeah,
than this one.
Thinking of that movie.
Am I about to be Team Hobbs and Shaw? Like, if this is a Hollywood war, and
you're already Team Rock over Team Vin, though.
But I like the Fast series collectively until now more than anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
but anyway,
the Hobbs and Shaw theater
was way better.
Was mad at us for laughing at the stupid moments. And this theater, the whole theater was laughing at the stupid moments, which is what Fast and Furious should be about, is like the over-the-top, dumb, stupid,
completely.
where it's like incredibly dumb in such a fun way. That's what it should be, you know?
There was a great laugh. I love... This is a fun thing to talk about a little bit outside of the movie itself, but the movie experience. I love getting to know people without ever talking to them. There's laughs that were familiar to me in that theater. There's a guy that was sitting in front of us that would just have big ones, and it just made me happy. And there were people behind us that would even, and that's the kind of movie experience.
Dude, there was a guy at the back of the theater whose laugh was just like, like,
yeah. I was like that. Like, I don't even care if you talk. Like, this is the kind of movie that's like, I don't mind commentary. You know?
Oh yeah.
This might as well be somebody's home theater.
Yeah,
because
totally. Right.
There is nothing to respect on this screen, right?
I would
There's
never write somebody's name on a card at Alamo if we were watching this movie together.
No.
Yeah, this movie, I think, well, not this one necessarily, but Fast and Furious movies are the types of movies where I think they are best enjoyed when you're feeling a little rowdy. Like, I don't want to watch Fast and Furious, like laying back on my couch and like it's a rainy day and I want to watch like something interesting. You know what I mean? I want to watch Fast and Furious with a bunch of friends over and we've got like greasy, sloppy pizza and snacks. And it's just like, let's rowdy right up and watch these movies.
Coronas, obviously.
Obviously,
A must.
Coronas. You got to.
It's a must.
The other thing that gotta happen is shout announcements, which goes right here. This is shout announcements. It's the part where we do shout outs and make announcements. I want to give a shout out to all of our listeners and friends on Patreon.
That's right.
They get the special bonus. We still got that Back to the Future series coming straight to Patreon here pretty soon.
That's
so keep
true.
your peepers
That'll be fun.
peeled for
That's
that
true.
one.
Never touching the main feed.
And if
First
you're
time
up,
watch for me.
if you're up on the second tier of Patreon, we also got that Discord channel talking about Loki, talking about upcoming trailers, a little Shang-Chi conversation going on. It's a fun time. So get on board. It's really great. I have grown to be so fond of all of our Discord members, and anytime I see their names pop up, I instantly am intrigued by what juicy tidbits they're going to bring to the table. I really love it.
Yeah. Well, those are the kind of notifications too that aren't going to be a glance for me. It's like, okay, I need to make sure that I'm able to really consume this and chew on this. It's the kind of thing that's like, if I get a notification in the phone, it's like I want to leave that notification up so that I can visit it when I'm not distracted.
I'm glad that people in that channel are clearly like our show, because there's a little bit that's like, well, you guys are like, why don't you have the podcast? I'm a little intimidated by how interesting you folks are, but I love it. It's awesome. We really
give them ideas.
We won't give names out to make anybody uncomfortable, but our Discord had our first Two Chunks Discord baby happened this last week, and we got to celebrate that. That was very fun.
That's crazy.
So I really enjoyed that notification, especially. I thought that was great.
Congrats.
The baby's going to be named after me. Jordan from the podcast will be the child's name.
At Jordan from the podcast is an interesting first name, but I love it.
Yeah, sort of that Elon Musk school of child naming.
Sure.
Carter, what's coming
Speaking
next?
of sending cars to space, I guess good thing to bring up Elon Musk in this episode.
That's a good point.
Well, coming up next, we're going to have our, and again, Fast 9 felt appropriate in being in Summer of Love, and then we'll have another blockbuster premiere to technically kind of end the Summer of Love. We had like a 7 entry for the Summer of Love.
Yeah.
But here in between, which was still part of your vote, just as the listener and your extra vote as the member of Patreon, we'll have Crazy Rich Asians, which was our most popular.
I have not seen this. Yeah.
Neither of you guys have seen it. I'm really excited. It's a great movie. Spoiler alert. And then after that, we'll have Black Widow.
Oh.
We are going to have an MCU movie.
Can I be
We're
honest
going to have
about
a lot
that
of
one?
those coming up.
Can I be honest about Black Widow?
Yeah.
I'm not even really that excited for it.
Oh, I'm very excited.
Because it's the thing about the MCU stuff that excites me so bad is the world building. They're like, oh, what's next? How are they going to keep increasing, exponentializing it? And I don't know how you do that with a prequel. I hope so. I hope
think
so.
it still will.
I'm going to like it, right? Like I end up liking just about all of them, but I don't know. For whatever reason, I'm just not like that kind of antsy, excited Christmas can't sleep like we were before F9: The Fast Saga.
Right.
I am more excited for Black Widow than I was for F9.
Yeah.
I just need to see that Marvel title sequence on a big screen.
Oh,
that's what I need.
Yeah.
For sure. And while love is forever, the Summer of Love is not. There's a season in the title of that name, right? So it's like, hey, this doesn't last forever. And Doge, do you want to kind of talk about, tease maybe a little bit what's the next series we've got coming up?
Yeah, I gotcha. Summer of Love is laying down the torch. Summer is ending, and it is autumn in our podcast, but definitely not in real life because it's hundreds of degrees outside. But there comes a time in every podcast's life when we have to decide who will pick up the torch and carry it brightly into the future. And there is one individual on this Zoom call right now who has said, I'll do it. I'll carry the torch, though I do not know the way. And so Carter's cooking up something very, very special in his new kitchen at his new home for us. Jordan and I are very excited.
Yes.
About this upcoming series, and that's all I'm allowed to tell you right now.
Interesting. I can't wait to learn more.
We all can't wait to learn more, much like we can't wait to get back into our discussion.
But first, this ad.
Most people only see their doctor a few days each year. For all the other days, there's CVS Health Hub, where you can see a provider, fill a prescription, and grab the essentials you need in just one trip, even on evenings and weekends. For care between doctor visits, from earaches to help with diabetes or sleep apnea, visit your local CVS Health Hub today. That's healthier, made easier. Services vary by location. See cvs.com/healthhub for details.
Get 30% shorter average wait time. When you buy and book your appointment at discounttire.com, you can get 30% shorter average wait time in the store. Discount Tire. Let's get you taken care of.
So there's this wonderful thing that happens in owning a new home or even living somewhere new is you kind of get to look around and discover things that you never knew about the home. It's almost like getting to know somebody well. Something that I'm finding in this home, and even today, right here by where I'm recording, is interesting because it's not only something new, but it's something that feels familiar. There's a certain corner of this bedroom that I am recording from that feels like I've been here before, but it doesn't necessarily feel like it's mine.
Okay.
Is this ringing any bells for anybody in here?
Well, it's starting to rev an engine for sure.
Interesting.
It smells
Would
like.
this be?
Do I smell downhill juice? Is that downhill juice that I'm getting a whiff of right now?
Jordan, is that your car corner?
Has it been in this house that you're in this whole time? That's crazy.
We found it. We found the actual corner.
Don't you intro it, Doge?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's been a million years. Gotta rev up my throat. Welcome to Jordan's Car Corner. Jordan wants to answer car-related queries and questions.
Jordan.
Yeah.
The all-knowing man of cars. That's something that we just kind of stumbled upon when we started the Fast series. We happen to have an expert up in here.
We didn't realize, actually, we had a master mechanic.
I know
we
everything
didn't
about
realize
cars.
because it never came up because of Doge and I's own ignorance to not even talk about this.
I didn't even know the right
place.
questions to ask.
Embarrassing.
He didn't have a place to flex that.
Sure.
Jordan, we've got a question for you. Though.
Yeah.
Because it's the kind of thing that I always wish I could have asked before.
Yeah.
So I would have had a better experience here. Can you lean in a little bit to the history of both the car and its relationship to the magnet? There's a lot of things that I didn't really understand there.
Where does car end, magnet begin? Are they different?
See, honestly, the true revelation of your ignorance is in the question itself. Allow me to explain.
The great teachers always say, in the words of the great masters, your question betrays your ignorance.
Yeah. I want to not only help you understand cars better, I want to help you ask better questions. That's sort of, by the time you're done with my class, I want you to know more about cars and yourself.
Thank you.
Now, the classic question everybody's got on their lips every time they see a car is like, how do magnets do with that?
That's the only question.
Exactly.
When a magnet is introduced into a car, an automobile scenario, basically what happens is the whole car functions as the magnet. So that would explain, well, hold on now. That would explain why a magnet inside a car would only affect things outside the car and not the body of the car itself. You know, like if
obviously.
If you activate a very strong magnet inside your car, logic would tell you that the car would crumple in on itself from all the metal and bits. But not the case. It actually just sort of the electromagnetism just travels through the entire chassis of the vehicle. And also, it magnetizes other cars so that it can expel them. Because I know a lot of people think that when you reverse a magnet, which I guess is a thing, that it what's the opposite of attracts? It expels. It repels metal. But that's not the case. That would be crazy talk. It would have to be an opposite or a similarly polarized magnet on the other side. So that's actually what it does. The car polarizes the other cars around it so that when you reverse it, it just shoots them all over the place. So yeah, it's a pretty standard question. But I just want to make sure that the questions you're asking sound more like not why does the car, but like how is the car?
Yeah.
Shouldn't the car?
Thank you.
Shouldn't the car? Should not the car?
Should not the car always be thus?
As always, incredibly illuminating.
Wow.
Yeah.
I do my
Such
best.
wisdom.
I do my
Such
best.
wisdom.
We only get 2 scenes of downhill juice in this whole movie, and it's disappointing. The only
One of
times
them's in
we get
outer
them-
space. No, we
Oh,
get 3.
We get 3. We get outer
We get 3.
space, which we'll talk about in a second. We get flashback race between Dom and Jacob, and then we get another scene which I'll talk about in just a minute. But I want to talk about all the flashbacks, if that's okay.
The only thing I liked about that is that the actor who plays young Dom is named Vinny in
name's
real
Vinny.
life.
Yeah, that's
which is the best
pretty
thing that's
great.
ever happened to me.
There is no good that comes from all of the flashbacks. What
Oh
we
my
needed,
goodness.
what we needed was a quick. Dad died. I think Jacob's responsible, and so I banished him with a race. That's all we needed.
That could have been dialogue. I wonder if there was ever a moment where a script supervisor was like, "Hey guys, this should be dialogue." Like in a real movie, those flashbacks, all the a pup named Dom Toretto stuff that we spend all our time working on.
What's new, Dom Toretto? Coming after you.
All that stuff that we spend all our time working on should be dialogue, but I don't think that Vin Diesel and John Cena could do that dialogue.
Well,
I
it
don't
doesn't
think they
even need to
could
be
act
dialogue.
those scenes.
If our opening flashback cutscene was simply race with brother, crash, and then later on we got a quick conversation between the two of them about, I know you did it on purpose, and then flashback to the race where he banishes him. That's all we need.
Here's the thing. I'm not even going to call it a flex because it's not easy to write better than the way that Fast writes its movies. But we do tend to do this thing where it's not necessarily arrogance or it could be some pride in like, we've created content together. I have confidence that these guys could write a better intro into Jacob.
That's
into
our
the saga.
deadly sin. That's
That's our deadly sin. Here's mine. You ready? Have that race at the beginning be Jacob dying and just do a 2-beat of Mr.
Sure.
Nobody keeping people alive. Because here's
Yep.
Han too. There's the breadcrumbs as to how he kept Jacob alive. That's all I need. I
Yeah.
don't
care about the dad
what
stuff.
feels like a full 25 minutes
Oh, it definitely is.
of
Like
this
a
movie.
full origin story for Dominic Toretto origins.
This
We don't need
This is
that.
one of
That's
the
so
only
stupid.
other 3 or the only 3 things we talked about. I'm pretty sure they're setting up like a young Dom movie series.
Guaranteed. Guaranteed. And I'm not interested.
What a waste of time. That's so. I'm not about it. What a waste of time. Something I want to talk about. I want to talk about my super pump,
Yes.
and it is these things that we alluded to a little bit.
Same.
Funny enough, in the package of the zip line.
Yeah.
I don't think we're gonna have a same here. I don't think my super pump is the same as yours.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it is. But my super pump is something that I love when the Fast series doesn't give a flip, right? But then I also hate when the Fast series doesn't give a flip. Like it doesn't care about certain things. When it doesn't care about physics, I'm in.
Yep.
Like I'm in for the most
Completely.
ridiculous thing ever. My super pump is magnets.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No.
I'm not even
magnets.
kidding.
Yeah.
The magnets brought to me something that I have never. I think the magnets pushed the envelope in terms of sensory overload of action in a movie
Yeah.
more than going
Yeah.
to space for me.
Yes.
The magnets and the scenes of did you know that there's been over 1,900 cars that have been wrecked in the Fast series?
Jeez.
Wow.
There's some fun stats on this. I've got another one for you. 1 second. I don't have it exactly. I don't have the exact like clip of it, but there is insurance companies will use this as a training ground for budding agents to like make claims, like to decide like they'll go ahead and use whatever organic wreckage would come from this and like use it as a teaching tool, like as
Amazing.
a
Oh, wow.
classroom. For some of that stuff. But the magnets thing was giving me stuff that I didn't even know how they did it. It's fun to watch an action movie, which it feels like action's been around since like I mean,
Dawn of
Charlie
Time.
Chaplin. I mean, you're talking about stuff that's been around since silent movies.
Right.
But then to even now in 2021 be like, I have no idea how they did this.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't need it to make sense. I really don't. It made zero sense, but I didn't need that. I just needed to see this train car going through and just having like waves crashing on it of cars.
Yeah.
It reminded me something of like zombie cars back when we had, I think in Fast 7, when they were just being controlled by Cypher because of the computers in the cars and just falling out of the sky. I thoroughly enjoyed everything that Magnets gave us. Magnets also gives us credit for the jet picking up Jacob's car.
The jet's
that flies
cool.
off
That's
of a
cool.
massive cliff in Mexico.
Yeah.
That's really
It was
cool.
just amazing. The
Yeah.
moments that I'm like, oh, like when I do that, felt like it was all magnets.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so I super pump magnets.
So-
and how that was used in this movie.
Magnets are definitely lumped in. My super pump is very similar. My super pump is just all the moments where it reached up and touched the sky of what was possible previously.
Let's go on
in
a
Super.
tour. Tell me those moments. Be my tour guide.
Definitely the car swinging like Indiana Jones.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Um,
I'm pretty
it
sure.
was
I'm pretty sure.
perfect.
I'm pretty sure Mater does that in Cars 2.
Probably.
So I will say Cars 2 beat him to it.
It was
but
perfect.
that's
It was amazing. Just the
wild.
wheel lock and the swing was so stupid, and I loved it. All the magnets.
That was. I think that was the first laugh from the theater.
Yeah, I think
the
so, too.
wheel lock was when the whole theater was like, "Oh, it's this."
Yep.
Okay.
And it honestly, the swing messed me up because I was like, oh, they're setting the bar high, and then they didn't do it much again until we started introducing magnets. Space was so dumb that I loved it.
Yeah.
Going into space was so stupid. It was incredible. Not the fighting wasn't particularly good
No, it
in
wasn't.
this one. I
No,
noticed.
could have been better. The fighting was too shaky. The moments
Yeah.
that would have been great were Born Identity with
Exactly.
a Red Bull.
Yeah. In IMAX, it was like having to turn your head from corner to corner.
It was
in
like
the
watching
fight
a
scenes.
tennis match.
Yeah. So, but yeah, all those moments where it reached for true greatness and skimmed the clouds with its fingers
Yeah.
of just like over the top stupid stunts. That was it for me.
Well,
That's my super
I'm
pump.
I'm
for
happy
sure.
now that there was a moment where we were like every character in the movie is now a superhero. Every car is now a baseball glove. Like
I can catch anything with
Yes,
these guys.
dude.
you can catch anything, and I'm okay with that. Let's
Yeah.
keep the baseball glove thing
It's
going.
like the car is just an extension of the person, and we get so many important scenes and conversations in cars. They love that shot of Vin driving and looking out his side window, like with Paul Walker at the end of 7. They love that shot.
Did it feel like Vin Diesel's lips were working overtime in this one?
Yeah.
I've never seen such an angry turtle. It was just like there were so many times that he's like he doesn't act in the eyes.
No.
Vin Diesel can only act in his mouth.
He acts
It's
nose
like
down.
it's like the thing Conan O'Brien is brilliant, and in Conan O'Brien's heyday, he would have guests very often. He had somebody who was doing impersonations, or it would be like Arnold Schwarzenegger or something, and it has just a picture of somebody. This was before deepfake, and all that's changed is the mouth. It's somebody else's mouth in there. That's
Yeah.
what Vin Diesel feels like sometimes.
Yeah.
Like his mouth is working overtime. Whether he is, he's the strongest he's ever been in this movie.
Yeah, for sure.
The things that he was doing were Samson-esque.
Yeah.
when he pulls down the entire sewer with 2 chains.
I forgot about that. Yeah, that was great.
And then he dies. He maybe dies. He floats backwards underwater in a crucifix position, and then maybe dies, but and sees his life. Vin Diesel is my super pump for this movie.
Okay, interesting.
Wow.
Not Dominic Toretto, and not even Vin Diesel's work in this movie.
Is that even fair?
I think it is, because this movie awakened me to a reality that I didn't realize I was already living in.
Okay.
In which Vin Diesel is my super pump, because there is something so childlike about him that I'm
Yeah.
honestly sort of envious of.
Do you think he pitches scenes for these movies like, and then there's a part where I'll be like, whoopah, and then like I'll come in and I'll be like, whoopoosh, and then I'll
Here's
be
the
like,
thing.
bah.
No, like outside of the joke, I absolutely do. Like these movies are completely his brainchild.
Yeah,
Vin
yeah, yeah.
Diesel, if you guys don't remember this, last summer Vin Diesel released 2 of maybe the worst songs I've ever heard in my whole life
gosh,
on
I
Spotify.
forgot.
But he just he has no self-reflection.
Yeah, there's no
there is
awareness
there's
at
not
all.
a shadow of self-consciousness in him.
Yeah.
And so he's like, yeah, I like that. I'm going to release it. But these movies, he's like, yeah, that seems cool. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Like he has no inhibitions. There's something so childlike, so pure about him that he's like, I don't know. I said it yesterday in What's in the Box, like who we have on our show. Vin Diesel has somehow become like on my short list of people that it's like, if you could get dinner with any actor, absolutely Vin Diesel. Like there's just something about him that is so pure. These movies are like so weirdly wholesome too, where he's just like, it would be really sweet if at the end we would just all friends and had a barbecue. And I was like, yeah, it would.
Yeah, that's
it
true.
Would. It would. And that is very sweet. I can't like articulate it. But
also,
like,
hey, I don't want to get
just the most
get too far
special
into
person.
this. I don't want to get too far into this at all. I laughed out loud when he was like, "Do you want to say grace?" And then the kid was like, "I don't know how to do it." And he was like, "Just say stuff." It was just like,
but he, like this got to be like he wrote that line, and to him that must mean
that's
something.
Got to be real. That's got to be real.
That must
for
mean
him.
something of like when you don't know what to say, just say what's on your heart, and that counts as grace, and that's beautiful.
I mean,
like genuinely,
it's like, you know what? You know what's not necessary? It's not necessary. It doesn't need to exist, but I think a lot of people would read it. Is if we had a version of Mice and Men where Lenny wrote it.
Yeah,
yeah.
That's Vin, dude.
Yes.
That's Vinny.
He's just like so special.
Okay.
Like there's nobody like
I don't
so
think
pure.
I want to be clear that I think that I don't think that Vin is like cognitively different. I just
No.
I honestly think that he is just like pure and unblemished in his mind, where it's
Completely.
like everything is exactly the way I understand it.
Yeah. Well, he's like, and that's a beautiful thing. Like he is the one who's ascended past the level of consciousness that I will never pass.
Yeah.
I care a lot about what people think about me.
Sure.
And I'm always like anxious, like, am I doing the right thing in this sort of social environment? And Vin Diesel just shows up and does Vin.
Yeah.
Every day of his life, every project he does, he just does Vin. And that's amazing.
Yeah, that's a good point. Really quickly, there's a couple things I'd like to touch on, if that's okay. One, that 50-foot blast radius on the mine, for some reason, didn't kill
that's nothing.
Tyrese's character 5 feet away from the mine, and that was strange.
Tyrese was bothering me big time in this movie.
Was he really?
I did not enjoy him in this movie. His conversation about, are we invincible? Sucked.
Oh,
no, I thought
liked
it was funny, dude.
I didn't like it. He just bothered
it felt
me
like
in this.
a
I don't
weird
know.
wink, like a weird self-awareness of like, hey, we're going to do whatever we want in these movies for the rest of forever.
But I don't think we needed that. We already knew that.
No,
they were
it was
already
funny.
self-aware
I
without
liked
having
it.
to like address it in like, yeah, I don't know. I just didn't love it.
I thought he was bringing that same heat he always brought. Not enough of it, maybe even.
It just felt different. It felt more tired to me this time. I don't know why.
They're all pushing 50 at this point. Like they
Yeah,
got
that's
Tired
true.
Reese, dude.
They got to
Tired
move on.
Reese.
Yeah,
Tired Reese.
there was something else that I felt the need really to focus on for just a moment, and I'm forgetting it. I'm finding that I have forgotten a lot of this movie already.
I'll talk about a moment that was personally ruinous to me.
Oh,
You guys remember we were playing box office ball when we went to see Hobbs and Shaw?
Sure.
And Ryan Reynolds showed up in that
here
movie.
we go. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Oh, here we go. Ryan Reynolds showed up in that movie, and I've never been more excited in a theater.
Oh my God, this was weird.
That was like a high. That was a high. That was a mountain experience. I experienced the deepest valley of my entire life when the punchline of this movie was a Minions joke.
Guys.
Can you believe it? Can you even believe it?
It was like opening Pandora's box because now which by the way, this movie's been out for 2 days, not technically 48 hours yet, and it's made $350 million worldwide. Now it can't die. It's in one of the biggest blockbuster franchises of all time as the punchline. So we've given it another decade of life.
Can you even believe it?
Cannot believe it. It is a special gift for our Discord channel.
Yeah.
To know that that's something that we went through in this movie. I couldn't get over it. I don't think I remember the 5 minutes after that because I was just kind of
Cackling.
in awe.
Yeah.
Oh, I was sad. I was mad. It was
Also,
funny.
I love that their plan was just like, let's downhill juice it straight through this satellite with no damage to the car or ourselves whatsoever.
Hey, did Roman survive by eating Tootsie Rolls in space for like 4 days?
That's what it seemed like.
How long were they up there just eating Tootsie Rolls?
How did they not run out of oxygen?
I don't know. The driving to space thing kind of broke it.
No, I loved it.
That
It
was
was so
like,
stupid.
okay, that you have officially. We talked about how they started jumping the shark around Fast and Furious 4 when they did kind of the reboot and they became spies, and they've just hovered in midair over the shark, and everybody's been like, yeah, whatever, fine, that's awesome, that's cool. You're doing so many 360s over that shark. I feel like they officially landed on the other side of the shark whenever the car went through. It had like thrusters on it. Like it's the Millennium Falcon, basically. It's got like rocket engines and it's I don't know. That just pushed it for me.
I don't think you can begin the jump, but I don't think you can ever land the jump over the shark with a series like this. I think it's just going to keep doing dumb stuff that you have to love.
Yeah. I have a speculation. I think the next Fast movie is going to be X. I think it's going to be Fast X.
Oh, nice.
And then that's the moment that people are going to realize this is Vin's long con.
They're all the same.
There's going to be 29 Fast and Furious movies because he is also Triple X.
Because he's already made Fast and Furious 30.
Wow.
Tell me it's not going to happen.
Jordan, were you going to talk about how they can't decide if Brian, the character... Yeah.
Yes, I was.
Tell us.
That was the other thing I was going to say. We really need to rate this, but instead what I'm going to do is briefly mention that this series of movies cannot decide if Brian is dead or just a stay-at-home dad.
It's leaning towards morbidity for me.
It is.
It's leaning towards inappropriate.
Yeah. It's like they're constantly like, I knew a guy who was the best and everything he ever did was the best and you're named after that guy. And also... he's just not here right now, and he's watching you right now. You're staying with him tomorrow night. So pack your stuff because Uncle Brian's going to watch you while the rest of us go almost die.
That's that, like, I think that's that absence of the self-critical impulse that Vin has, though. Because, like, if I was making a movie and one of you guys was no longer around, I would want to like respect you and honor you in that movie. You know what I mean? Like that's his
Vin
best
just
friend.
never wants to stop respecting Paul Walker, which I respect.
And I get it. Like I totally get it. I can't blame him for that impulse. It just is
it's
weird
starting
in the
to
story.
edge on weird a little bit.
Yeah.
And episodes 5 through 9 of Star Wars talk less about Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Right.
Yeah.
Than
and I'm not saying let's kill Brian's character. I love actually the idea of Paul Walker forever being alive in the Fast and Furious series. Like I love that. It's just the way we talk about him is so weird. It's like we're talking about Paul Walker and Brian out of both sides of our mouth in this series, and it's a little uncomfortable.
It's weird. It's getting weird. Yeah, we need to find a way to address it in the script.
Now, the thing I'd like to do, guys, honestly, right here, is rate this movie using science, the same science that sent Tej and Roman into space. It's the scientific cinema scale, and it is perfect. And as follows: the best thing we could ever say about a movie is own it, don't lend it. Buy that poster. The next best thing is buy it. That's followed by rent it. Then stream it. After that is forget it. And last, but certainly least, the worst thing we could ever say about a movie: God hath forsaken us.
I'll go first because I think the things that I liked about this movie could have shown up later. And I think the things that we did wrong need a redo. I need a Cena that gets to be charismatic.
Yep.
I need a Han that gets to be Han for Pete's sake.
Come on, Pete.
And I need to not have a movie where we've just sucked out all of the charisma that even made it to this point.
Sure.
It feels like it is dishonorable to the things that made it what it is, or at least this section of it. I'm going to forget it. I think it is better for the Fast series, and it can totally be canon that it doesn't exist. I think the time we chose to spend on an origin story feels way too much like Marvel. And I prefer a Fast series that doesn't really acknowledge Marvel outside of having the streets fight back.
Yeah.
It's a forget for me. And it makes me sad, but I'm also glad that this opportunity existed for us to go.
Sure.
I'm fine if I'm taking my grandkids to see new Fast movies, honestly.
Totally.
We had a trailer for James Bond before this, and that's the 28th, 29th installment. So like things like this exist.
Yeah.
But I kind of wish this movie didn't. I'm going to forget it for the sake of the saga.
Fair enough. I'm streaming this one. I think the more I reflect on it, it might be my least favorite of the series. I just decided during the recording process here that I am going to begin a full rewatch today, starting with 1, and just see how I feel about all of them.
Really, all the way back to the beginning.
Yeah, I'm doing all of them.
Wow.
I'm really looking forward to it, actually. But the thing about, I know that my ratings probably don't reflect. I'm sure I gave some lower ratings earlier on. Just as things change and I start to appreciate the series more, my bar raises, and so does my floor for ratings. But yeah, this one's a stream it only because I feel like there are a couple high moments that are so ridiculous they are worth a rewatch. And when I'm thinking about, honestly, it's a stream because I'm looking ahead, if I'm being honest, because I'm hoping that this is worth a rewatch later so that Fast 10 feels like a grand slam.
Yeah.
So it's a stream for me, but it's a low stream. I want to be very clear that this movie ended up being a disappointment, which is a huge bummer to me.
Yeah. I'm actually going to forget this one because I can't see a world in which it's necessary to watch this to understand Fast 10. Because at the end of the day, like, our pieces are in pretty much the same place on the board.
Yeah, nothing changed.
Nothing
Cypher's
changed.
still here.
Cypher's still here. Cypher's still doing her thing. The only thing is that Han is not dead.
Yeah, that's big.
And there's no real reason. He just didn't want to be, so he's not.
Yeah.
And John Cena's here, which that we could accomplish that in the beginning of the next one. Like, there's nothing really happens in this. The things that are good that happen in this, you can watch on YouTube in 6 months. So just wait for that.
Yeah. There's a good kind of predictable to the Fast series and a bad kind of predictable. Right. And I have seen the villain turning hero to be both now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because I want to be excited that they're a hero and be excited that here's a good trope. Everybody knew John Cena was going to be good.
Right.
Or even adjacent to good.
Right.
But I don't know if I want him on my team if he's going to be this kind of John Cena.
I know.
So
Right.
that's disappointing.
Right.
Yeah, I hope he gets a personality transplant. Not John Cena,
You know what we need?
Jacob.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, big time.
I think I know what I want from Fast 10. And I want it to be like hey, you're going to be punished for not having The Rock. And now The Rock has artistic liberty to bring his cousin. And not only do we get The Rock, we introduce Jason Momoa to the Fast series. Like,
fine. How has he not been in these yet? This feels
That's
like
a
his
good
vibe for
point.
sure.
That's a good point.
Maybe he's going to be in Hobbs and Shaw too.
Fine. Well, oh, which, by the way, the post credits was definitely teasing that, not Fast 10. It was definitely a Hobbs and Shaw 2 tease, I think.
You
think so?
You think Vin would let that in his movie?
I don't know that he has total 100% creative control over what happens.
That's true.
The studio still needs to
yeah.
sell Hobbs and Shaw 2.
Yeah.
Vin's basically like the Mickey Mouse Club. And it's like, hey, JT, we'll give him away. And he goes, it's like we're giving Han to the Hobbs show, like to the Hobbs series.
I need Han in Hobbs and Shaw 2.
Yeah. Treat him right.
Yeah.
I need that
he
really
can go
badly.
there. Yep.
To end this episode, first of all, next week, Crazy Rich Asians. Check it out. It's going to be awesome. To end today's episode,
I bet there's a lot less cars in that one. I haven't seen it. I bet they don't do as much driving.
They might do more driving, honestly.
There's 2 options.
Or the same. There's 3 options. The same amount.
It's either going to be more or less or the same amount of driving as F9 : the Fast Saga.
To end today's episode, I'd like for each of us to say our name and guess how much driving we think is... No, I'm just kidding. I would like for each of us to
6.
say our name and to say what stunt we would have liked to have seen a car perform in this movie that matches the energy of a Tarzan swing or a car in space or magnets.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm Jordan Wonders for 2 chunks and a hunk. And I would have liked to have seen a car used to play keep away with the little circle thing. What do they call it?
Project Ares.
Project Ares.
Mm-hmm.
And keep away to be done by fishtailing the cars to bat it, to hit it like a bat.
Yeah.
So
they
Rocket
jump-
League.
Like the quaffle.
Yeah. I'm Dosh. And speaking of rockets, we got the car to space the exact wrong way in a movie where the MacGuffin is, well, not the MacGuffin, I guess the tool we use to get to the MacGuffin is super powerful electromagnets, Why did we not have a super powerful electromagnet on the bottom of a car? We're in Cape Canaveral. We're trying to catch up to a rocket launch. They have to drive, like as soon as ignition starts.
So much better. Already so much better.
Drive to the rocket, reverse the polarity on the magnet on the bottom, flip up, attach to the side of the rocket, and hitchhike the rocket to space.
Oh, so much better.
That's way better than Sean being like, we're up, get on top of my plane. I'm going to push the button and shoot you to space right now.
So much better.
That's way cooler.
Way cooler. I'm Carter, and there had been legitimate, y'all. There had been rumors. I know my pod boys know it, but the y'all I'm referring to is everybody listening. There had been rumors that like Vin wanted to have a Jurassic Park crossover. And I think as lofty as that goal is and how he tends to do things that are unrealistic, that's not going to happen.
I don't think it will, no.
The people attached to the IP of JP are probably way more thoughtful to their IP than the Fast 9 saga. But here's what we are going to be able to do. In this episode, when we have Jacob and Vin, I call him Vin. That's how outside of character he is. When Dom and Jacob are turned around and they're heading towards our like train car. What would you even call that big truck?
Big truck train car.
Cool. So we don't get to afford the crossover with Jurassic Park, but we do with Transformers. And they both turn into robots, and now they're piloting these robots. So it's a little bit more of the Pacific Rim
like
kind of thing. So it's not these, they're like Jaegers. And so honestly, that'd be a fun shot to call that I think really could actually come to the Fast universe. But I'm totally down
I think
for that.
aliens are not out of the question.
No, if they want to be a part of dinosaurs, aliens.
Yeah, I think aliens are not out of the question at all.
No.
In fact, they might very well be in the question. And the question is aliens?
If Dom was a transformer, like if his car, that Charger, if that's a transformer, what's its name? Mega Dom?
Cauldron.
Bartholomew.
His name is Cartholomew.
Bartholomew.
Did y'all hear me say mine? Or did I?
What was yours?
Megadom?
Yes, we did hear that.
Okay, you did, so it wasn't good. All right, guys.
Passion soars on wings like eagles, seen from above. If all that we have left is time, I think it's time for love.
You don't turn your back on family.
No one really tries to be unsafe online.
Enter address for free tater tots.
But every time you give up info and privacy,
So I gave your birth date for free parking.
That's how I got this robe.
you may give up some safety too. Norton 360 with LifeLock has device security, a VPN for online privacy, and identity theft protection, all in one. No one can prevent all cybercrime or identity theft, but you can save 25% or more off your first year. Opt into cyber safety at norton.com/news.
Meyer brand snacks promise the great value you expect with a quality guarantee in every bite. And summertime snacking is our most favorite snacking season of all because Meyer brand makes it deliciously easy. From new lemonade flavors to classic ingredients for backyard s'mores to creamy ice cream varieties like new limited edition Purple Cow by Meyer Very Berry Americana with ribbons of real strawberry and blueberry swirls waving in creamy vanilla ice cream. Stop into Meyer and discover big taste and bigger savings on Meyer brand summertime snacks.